Hi everyone, Mama Dr. Tochi here today with a class on how to know if your spirit guides, especially your guardian spirit, is trying to get in touch with you, is trying to communicate something to you. I've gotten this question from so many folks in the family and outside the family, privately and in the comments section. How do I know? How do I know? How do I know I'm communicating with my guardian spirit or my spirit guides or my ancestors? So in today's class, we're going to briefly look at some things that will indicate to you, help you know that these guides, these spiritual entities are trying to reach out to you, to guide you, to deliver messages to you. So take your time to get your drink, your snack, your notepad, your pen, your pencil, or your electronic device, whatever it is that you use to write down your notes, and we will be right back. Thank you for coming back. A little bit of housekeeping. Thank you to my subscribers and the members of this family. Couldn't do this without you. If you enjoy this kind of content, I do encourage you to give me a thumbs up because it encourages me to produce more content like this. Be sure to click your all notification buttons on so that you will know when I put out more material like this, when we come on live, when we have our Sunday classes, when we do our group fast, when we have our rituals, you will be notified right away. I do encourage you to read the material in the description below this video. I do find that some people will write in the comment section, how do I get you? How do I purchase your products and services? How do I do this? How do I do this? And in the videos, I usually say, read the comment section below this video. All that information is loaded in the description section, not the comment section, below this video. You'll see my website, you see courses, you see books, you see everything. If you want a consultation with me or reading with me, everything, how to get that is in the description below this video. Okay, so let's get to today's class. Okay, how do you know that these spirit guides, different kinds of spirit guides, are trying to reach out to you? Okay, you've put in the work, you've watched my videos, you've built your altar, you're praying, you're making your offerings, you're pouring libations, you're doing whatever it is that you do to reach out to your spiritual crew. And then there's silence. Yeah. Silence. And you're wondering, okay, am I doing this right? Is there some other thing I'm supposed to do? Relax. Understand this. Spirit doesn't always communicate the way that we human beings do. And so we have to pay extra attention to things and events, phenomena around us for us to know that we are being heard and there is some communication coming our way. One of the primary ways that our spirit guides, especially our guardian spirit and our ancestors, reach out to us is through dreams. I know I've mentioned this in other videos. Do take some time to look at my playlist on dreams. You know, I have playlists, different videos on dreams, the meaning of dreams, how to handle your dreams, how to interpret your dreams. And you will find embedded in several of these videos information about how your spirit guides or spiritual entities are trying to get a hold of you. Okay. Now, there are some people who will also hear things. Okay. So this is kind of related to clairaudience, you know, being able to hear things that other people don't hear. It's like hearing with an inner ear. Sometimes you will hear your name being called. Now, in some cultures, hearing your name being called is considered a negative thing. And so in those cultures, they will say if you hear your name being called, you know, don't say anything or, you know, try and say something to ward it off, you know, something like that. Okay. Whereas in some other cultures, they will tell you if you hear your name being called, you need to respond, and they have a specific way to respond. I mean, just look at the Bible story about Samuel. When the first time he heard the Lord calling him, he thought it was Eli, the priest, his master, and he kept running to Eli until Eli kind of figured it out and said, wait a minute, I'm not the one who's calling you. I think it's the Lord calling you. And next time you hear it, say, speak, Lord, for your servant listeneth, something of that nature. And then that's just how Samuel's prophetic mission started, how his career as a prophet started. Okay, so you see that there are different things in different cultures that are offered as a way to respond to hearing things. My suggestion to you is this: listen to what is being said. And you can ask a question and say, if you are for good, show me a sign. And you pick the sign that you want to be shown to you if what is being put forward to you is good and pure and beneficial. In other words, if you're hearing something, a voice is like saying, calling your name or telling you, giving you information, you have a right. You are spirit too. You can say, show me a sign that you are show me a sign that you are good and you're pure and you're for my benefit and you're on my team. And you can say, show me, you can even say, show me the cross, show me the cross of Jesus, or show me the ankh, the cross of life, or, you pick what you want. And you can do this and say, prove to me that you're right. Prove to me that you're true. Now, obviously, if someone has mental health issues, they may not be getting messages that are asking them to do something constructive, or, messages that are constructive, period. And so if you are hearing something, if you're getting messages that are not constructive, that are asking you to harm yourself or harm someone else, I'm letting you know that that is not a spirit guide trying to reach out to you. I will tell you that right now. And you need to discuss that with somebody. Don't keep it to yourself, okay? But if it's good, it's positive. Like if they're like saying, hey, this is going to happen, or that is going to happen. If you're not used to it, you can ask that voice to identify itself. And more often than not, it will identify itself. When it identifies itself, don't shut it down. Don't be like, oh, Lord, oh. No, because a lot of people have reported that when they used to hear these voices tell them things that other people didn't know, and then out of fear, they shut these voices down, it became very difficult for them to hear those voices again. It became extremely difficult. So again, my suggestion is clarify if you're not comfortable. And there's some voices you will hear, some messages, let me put it that way, that you will hear, and you feel relief, you feel a calmness. There's, you're not terrified, you feel okay with it. That is usually a good sign that that is coming from a spirit guide, because your spiritual crew, whoever's in your crew, whether it's your guardian spirit, your ancestors, your spirit guides of different kinds, prophets, messengers, whoever, whatever you believe in, when they communicate with you, you should feel a sense of calm, a sense of peace, a sense of certainty about what is being communicated to you. You should not be in a state of fear, in a state of terror, or state of this confusion, Okay. Now, you might see things. You might see things beyond the ordinary. Sometimes when there are some people who are so gifted that it's almost like they're in a trance mode, okay? And they're seeing things overlaying on top of something else. So let's say you're looking at me now and your guide is wanting to communicate something to you visually. It will seem as if they put a film over. So you're looking at, you're watching me now, but then it's like this light film overlays, and then there'll be other things, images or symbols or pictures or moving, images like a video playing over what you're currently looking at. Okay. And then when you start focusing on that screen, so instead of focusing on me right now talking with you, okay, in this class, you're now focusing on that filter, that film that is in front of you. You start seeing things, you start getting messages. Okay, so that's another way. Another way that you can know that your spirit guides are reaching out to you is through smells. A lot of ancestors come through that way. They will come through with a smell that was particular, or a scent that was particular to them, specific to them, that they know that if it comes to you, you would recognize what that scent is. You would recognize, and you'd be able to quickly say, hey, that smells like my grandma's perfume, when she used to be on this side, or that smells like my grandpa's tobacco, or my grandma's tobacco, for those whose grandmas used to smoke cigars, you know what I mean? So that is another way, to know. Sometimes another way that you can know that you're being reached is through a change in the atmosphere. You can sense the energy. It feels like you're sitting, nothing changes. Like you're looking around, everything looks the same. You're not hearing anything. You're not seeing anything. But you can feel the pressure in the room change. It's like a change in pressure. And you know the feeling you get like when a thunderstorm is about to come and the air pressure changes? That is another symbol sometimes, another sign that they're there with you, and they're there to either hear what you're saying or to communicate with you. That change. Some people will also feel something like a light breeze. A light breeze is a very common sign that your spirit guides are with you, they're around you, okay? It happens a lot during rituals, it happens a lot during prayers, you will just feel that. Matter of fact, there's some people will feel it to the extent that the hair on their skin will actually rise and they'll start getting like localized goosebumps, okay? Some people feel a tingling. It could be a tingling, in the forehead area, third eye area. It could be a tingling in the crown area, in the crown chakra area. It could be a tingling around the nape of the neck. Some people, or even a tingling on one side of the body, okay? There are a lot of people who report that as signs that, their spirit guides are there, they're listening. It also happens when you invoke other spiritual entities who are not technically part of your crew, but you've invited them to help you do specific work. Another sensation, some people feel a calmness in their heart or chest area, or a calmness, okay, in their gut area. Now, some other people have their spirit guides communicating to them through other people. So you will see children come up and they will say something to you, Remember there used to be a TV program many, many years ago. I think it was called Children Say the Darnest Things, okay? So you will find some children will come up and say the darnest things to you, okay? And it will tie in with what you're experiencing or what you prayed about or what you petitioned about. They will just come out. Children are often used for reassurance. There are people who maybe they experienced a loss, a loved one transitioned over, and they're wondering, how is that loved one faring? The child will come and say, Grandpa said I should tell you he's okay. And then the kid will walk off. It happens just like that, Now, there's sometimes that spirit guides will communicate to you through animals. Whether it's wild animals or your pets, they may come to you especially wild animals. They may come very close to you. Okay, people will sometimes will be like they're in this meditative space or prayerful space, and they're like, oh, I wonder if my spirit guide or the target of my prayer or target of whatever it is that I'm doing received it. And the butterfly will come out of nowhere and light on them or light near them. Birds will come. Okay, things of that nature. You know, and they will just come, hover around, and go, you know. So those are other ways that you can know that your guides are speaking with you. Another way is through divination. There's sometimes, like some of us who are so spiritually, we don't see anything, we don't hear anything, we don't taste anything, we don't smell anything, we don't feel nothing going on. We go and do a divination, and the diviner gives us a message letting us know that yes, the spirit guide or the person we're reaching out to, yes, has heard the message, and here is what they have to say. Now, of course, within this divination, we're looking at mediums, people who are specialized in communicating with those who have crossed over to the other side, and they can have real messages for us. Now, when we're communicating with mediums, okay, and someone is like, okay, this is what they do, they communicate with people on the other side. Sometimes we may want to check that information. We may want to check that information that's coming through. If the person says, oh yeah, the person on the other side said I should tell you this, get some confirmation. Get some confirmation that that person is actually giving you information from the real person on the other side or the real entity on the other side, and not using their imagination or just trying to tell you something to make you feel comfortable or make you feel comforted. Because whether we like it or not, there's sometimes people will go to a psychic or go to a medium and they're in distress, they're in sorrow, they're grieving, and nothing is coming through. But with the best of intentions, the medium or the psychic may just want to say something that will comfort the person. And they really don't mean any harm. They mean no harm. You know, they just want to comfort the person because they know that the person is grieving. They know that the person is sad, or they know the person is looking for hope. Okay. And so they will say certain things that the person can latch onto and then use that to move on. But, you know, the problem with that is that, there are some people who be like, especially if they have really deep grief or inconsolable grief, you know, you could say all the positive, motivational, inspirational things you want to say to that person. They need to have an assurance that really that message is coming from their loved one who has crossed over the new ancestor, or from a spirit guide or a spirit being or an angel or a guardian spirit. So you ask for confirmation and let that medium or psychic give you things. The person can ask whomever, whatever is communicating with and say, give me a sign, give me something that will let me assure this person that really you are the one communicating. So nothing wrong with asking for some confirmation. You know what I mean? I've communicated with some mediums who were like, well, there's this blonde lady. What blonde lady? Look at me. Blonde lady? Maybe it was a wig. Maybe it was a weave. Who knows? Okay. All right. Moving along. That's me just being my facetious self. So anyway, so those things happen. Okay. So don't think it weird or unreasonable to expect some reassurance that what you're doing or what you're saying is being heard by those on the other side, that your spiritual crew is active and present. Again, you can do divination. You can even do divination yourself, you know. You can use tarot cards, for example, and you shuffle them and you know, while you're shuffling them, you can say, give me confirmation that I'm being heard, or give me confirmation that you're with me. And you pull a card and you see what that card says. Okay. understand this. Spirit uses a diversity of methods to speak to us, to communicate with us. Okay? And a lot of times those communications will come in symbols, in symbolic form. It's not always that we will see something or hear something literal. Okay? Now, there's some people that get communications through channeling. Okay, so someone is channeling, or they themselves, they're channeling, and that spirit will come through in their words or in automatic writing. So there's some people, for instance, that's what they do, automatic writing, and they just get pen and paper, or pencil and paper, and they just keep on writing, just writing any word that comes through, phrases, sentences come through. And after they go through that, when that whole energy has gone through them, they settle down and read what they've written. They now discover that that was a communication. Another way that spirits can communicate with you is through synchronicities. Things happening a certain number of times, maybe happening 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, happening in a row. They could happen days in a row. They could happen hours in a row, minutes in a row. You know, or at intervals that you can determine, okay, this is happening every month for 3 months, every month for 6 months, every month for 9 months, and so on and so forth. Or it could be happening every year, annually. You know, that is another way, through synchronistic phenomenon. That's another way that spirit communicates with us. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. I hope you get to use it in your life, in your practice. I hope that it encourages you to pay more attention to what is going on around you. Pay more attention, because there are a lot of us who pray, we petition, and we don't think that our prayers are being heard, that our petitions are being heard. And all the time, Spirit is speaking, but we're not listening because we just don't recognize the ways that Spirit speaks to us. So make sure you pay attention, take notes if you need to take notes, and go back and revisit these notes so that you will know that all you're doing is not in vain. So as usual,